I think this is the Kobe 8 Reincarnated. Mabuhay everyone, MARKCHES here. Welcome to the channel, and for today's video, we will be unboxing and I'll be giving you my first impression on this Way of Wade basketball sneaker, which is the Wade 808-2 from Li-Ning. So this is the second version of the Wade 808, and I've heard amazing or good reviews on the first Wade 808. Before we talk about why I call this a Kobe 8 Reincarnated, let's talk about the upper of the 808-2 first. The entire upper features a mesh upper, which is 2 layers. On the top is a screen mesh and there's an underlining fabric below. So the first thing that you will notice is you can see the holes here. So it's heavily perforated. There's a lot of ventilation from the toe area to the side part of the sneaker, and it kind of stops here in the midfoot part. So there's a lot of ventilation in the sneaker, and even the tongue part has a lot of perforation. It's like a jersey like material. It's thin, but at the same time, when I was tightening up my laces, it wasn't rubbing against my skin. There was no discomfort, which is really nice. And at the tip of the sneaker is of course some fusing here for durability and support to the sneaker. It also acts as a sidewall here, and there's an accent here, this purple circle, which also gives extra protection to your toes and of course extra durability to that area. As for the lacing system of this, it has a traditional lacing system with a very thin laces. When I tried it last night, it didn't loosen up. The laces didn't loosen up even though they are flat laces. And as for the lace holes, there's no wire going down, but it's kind of connected to the screen mesh upper, which on the screen mesh there's not a lot of stretch to it, so it gives you the support and contains your foot really well, especially around the forefoot part and midfoot part of the sneaker. Moving to the back part of the sneaker, you can see this heel cup here that is really hard, and there's a plastic piece outside, and they are calling the heel lock wrapping. It's really hard, so it really contains your foot. When I was using it, my foot was really contained. There's a lot of padding around the Achilles and ankle part. They're very comfortable. It is a really low cut sneaker, and I think it's very ideal for people who are wearing ankle braces because the opening of the sneaker is really big, so there's enough space for your ankle braces to fit the sneaker. There's a pull tab in the tongue and around the heel for easy access, so you can put your foot in easily. Now, why I call this the Kobe 8 Reincarnated is because let's remove it. Voila! It has a drop-in midsole, insole, all in one. It looks like the GT Cut 2, and of course the Kobe 8s where this started. And look at that drop-in, and it is made out of this Li-Ning Cloud Plus. So what's the difference between the Cloud Plus and the normal Cloud Foam is when I tested this out last night, it felt more bouncy because the standard Cloud Foam was more on the plush side compared to this Cloud Plus. This Cloud Plus is a lot more dense, thus giving more bounciness to the sneaker. And comparing it with the drop-in of the GT Cut 2, you can really feel the difference in the thickness. In the forefoot, there's a little bit of difference in the thickness. When you press down to the heel part, you can really feel the difference of the thickness around the heel of this Cloud Foam Plus. And mainly because this doesn't have an extra cushioning setup like the ones on the GT Cuts, which has a full-length zoom straddle. So Li-Ning really need to make this a lot thicker for more impact protection and force a good bounciness, especially around the forefoot part of the sneaker. As for the feel now, I just tested this one time. It's bouncy, especially in the forefoot, and a very nice impact protection around the heel. But I'll give you my further verdict or my final verdict of this as soon as I played with this more. And when you remove the insole, midsole, it looks like the GT Cut and the Kobe 8s, where you can really bend the sneaker into half. But what's nice about this 808-2 is it has this TPU wrapping, and they're calling this the Pro Bar Lock Anti-Torsion piece here. This purple piece which is plastic, that gives extra torsional support to the sneaker. That's why it doesn't twist that much. So even though it has a drop-in midsole insole, it still gives you extra support and stability so that you won't over twist your foot. And there's a window here, if you can see this window. It's a nice accent to the sneaker, and it's on both sides, the medial part and the lateral part, where you can see the drop-in midsole, so you can interchange them. And I actually was asking, oh wait, but I'm still waiting for their answer, if they will be providing different kinds of drop-in midsole insole soon, because according to the website is you can interchange midsole insole in the future. So I'm not too sure, so I'm quite excited for that, if they will be producing extra midsole insole that has different kinds of tech. Like they can create a midsole which is made out of boom cushion, which is extra bouncy or more bouncy compared to the Cloud, based on my experience with the Wow 10s, which I really love. That boom cushion is ultra bouncy. So if they will make it like even the carrier boom in the middle of this Cloud foam, man, I would really thrilled to try that out. So I hope that they will make that type of midsole and they will sell it separately without the shoe and just the midsole insole. So there's an anti-slip here in the midsole insole, and of course there's sidewalls so that it contains your foot really well. And an additional thing that contains your foot is this plastic piece, like I mentioned. It's just not for torsional support, but it also contains your foot from sliding off the footbed. And that is what it does exactly. When I was trying it out last night, I was trying to do lateral moves and I was really contained and there was no give on my lateral cuts. So the sneaker on my first test looks ultra responsive because there's no lag in your lateral movements. At the same time, of course, the traction of this is quite gnarly. It squeaks a lot if you're into that. So the traction features this ripple-like pattern, like a cosmic something here with a basketball here, but which I think is really dope. And there's a heartbeat in the middle, but this is still soft. It's not a torsional bar. So I think this is the 808 symbol here. And as for the rubber material, it's pliable, and usually pliable rubbers are very sticky to the floor. And I was playing on a Tyraflex floor, and it was kind of moist because there was a game before us and it was kind of sweaty, but it still was holding its ground. And I believe the more that I use them, it will improve a lot more. But let's wait and see in my performance review. And as for outdoor use, I think you can use this for outdoor, because usually Li-Ning and other China brands are very outdoor court friendly. But let's wait and see, because even though this is pliable, the grooves are still very thick. You can see that it's especially around here, it's very thick. So even on the heel part, the patterns are very thick. So I think outdoor use will be okay with this. But take note that the cushion is not that thick, so you will feel closer to the ground, very similar to the Kobe 8s. So this one is really catered to those who place very low to the ground, that are extra aggressive, making different turns on the court and making side steps and a lot of cutting inside the court. So this sneaker is very ideal to those types of players. So for the weight of the sneaker, US 11, it is 450 grams, so that's average for my size. And the insole is around 70 grams, so it's not too light, because I think because of the materials that they use here, this plastic piece made this a little bit heavier. And I think the outsole too is a little bit thicker compared to the normal outsole, which I think still good, because at least you can use them outdoors at the same time and still not sacrificing the weight that much. And speaking of the outsole, I forgot to mention this very nice lateral outrigger that comes with it. You can see it protruding here in the forefoot. So it has a very nice wide base in the forefoot for stability. And when I was playing with it, I feel low to the ground. The forefoot was really wide, and with this wide lateral outrigger, you feel very stable to the ground. So for the price of the Wade AO8 2, it is $120, so that's around 6,000 pesos here, and I will put in the description down below where you can order it. As for the sizing, regular footers go true to size and wide footers go half a size up. And this one, although it kind of looks narrow, but there's still a little space for wide footers. I think this will be okay for wide footers. It's not too snug. So I think there's enough space for wide footers around the midfoot and forefoot part of the sneaker. So this is the Wade AO8 in the cold blood colorway. There's a lot more colorways in the website, so go ahead and choose which one you like. Let me know what you guys think about this 808 2. Do you agree with me that it kind of looks like the Kobe 8s? Let me know in the comments down below. So this has been MARKCHES once again. Thank you for dropping by. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.